the way it ended. Um, and then I'm still watching Black Lightning. I know AJ, you disagree.
I mean,
uh, but you
yeah,
know,
He's
I
like,
mean,
I,
So
I,
which
I,
which
I
episode
spoke
are you
my
on?
technically,
part.
your eyes got to be somewhere. So I
Jesus
guess if you're
Christ!
on,
Well, let me
you
die.
got to be staring in some direction at something at some
Oh,
time.
I'm dead. All right.
Which episode? What episode are you on?
I'm on.
Does it
Oh
matter?
shit! I thought I was in season three. I'm actually in season two. Um, and we started. What is it called? The book of. They had like the book of consequences and then some more
Oh
shit.
yeah.
So I'm after the book of consequences. Hold up, I'm trying to. We are on. Oh no, shit. We just into season two, so I'm on season three, episode one, the book of occupation.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
So now you about to get into some real shit.
Hey, that shit started off so crazy. I don't know what's with
And what I
this,
was talking about
facility
last
and
week.
everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What I was talking about
Um,
Yeah,
last
I'm
week.
surprised that
But
hasn't happened already. Maybe it has happened.
what?
Like they just
maybe it
take,
has happened. We don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just take over a city and you don't hear nothing about it. You think everything's great.
There's stuff to like about Black Lightning Malik. There's, some stuff that I take issue with. That we have touched on probably for a couple weeks now. And I guess like two things real quick. I'm gonna talk about kind of carrying over from like my issue is not with them seeing us as being like someone's version of like a perfect black fam, but all the flattening, right? Reducing wider social issues to like personal issues that can be resolved if you just have a mom and a dad who care and like have enough money. Which I mean, having involved guardians who love you is super important, right? But they don't ever
Hmm.
address like the systemic issues that cause that vision to like break from the ideal, right? And not to mention that like that one particular notion of an ideal family structure is like super restrictive, right? And then like the other
True,
thing
true.
is that like white people don't even know how to treat each other. These motherfuckers is like I don't know. I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
is up with them.
Yeah.
Like they don't have like a healthy idea of respect. Like when they
Yeah.
respect somebody, that's like out of fear. It's not like you're a human
It's
being
like
like
this
I'm a
person
human
has
being.
something over me, so I'm
Exactly.
gonna
It's
respect
never
them.
exactly. And so I
It's
mean I
never
don't.
like it's never
Yeah.
just like
Never.
just pure respect.
Exactly. It's never just like we're both people, right? And
Mm.
you deserve a certain level of just consideration as another person. It's
Yeah.
always some like fucked up power dynamic shit with them.
I mean, it starts with the way that they like the kids talk to their parents. I'm like, dog, like I would have got I would have got snatched up if I was just like,
Said
dog,
one thing wrong.
I'm saying, I'm like, dog, like it's like they be having like full on like discussions and debates with your parent. I'm like, dog, like there's no debate. Like,
Like the only time I had a discussion and debate is when I became now. Like
yeah,
You
exactly.
said
When you
now.
get and you
That's
become a
now,
yeah,
insane.
when you
now.
become you
Like,
become become an an adult. adult. You You
You
yeah,
still
Right.
gotta
You
check.
gotta.
exactly.
JK is 30.
it's
JK
like,
is
nigga, what you
30.
say? I'm like, we having a conversation, Dad. Just calm down. No, no, I'll
Calm
kill your dad. I'll
down.
kill your dad.
The
Ooh,
fact
I'm
that you
like,
can say calm down is very impressive.
Very impressive. You
I don't
play
have
with life.
conversations with my dad still. I mean, I talk to my mom all the time. I don't have conversations with my dad at all. Like, we talk about sports. I don't have no heart to hearts with
only
my
time I can have a
dad.
conversation with my sisters there
That's
because
crazy.
It's
it's
What do you
definitely it's
say?
definitely harder to talk. Yeah,
Disagreements with my dad?
yeah, it's definitely harder
well,
to talk to my dad about um that type
certain
of
Like
stuff.
stuff.
real stuff.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
because
like
it's
real
just
stuff.
it's like it's but it shouldn't be though. Like that's
Yeah.
and
No,
but
no,
it,
we didn't. If you didn't develop the relationship when you're young, it's hard to develop it as an adult
exactly, yeah. It's
because
like it's
you
like
guys are
ah, it's
both
like
in patterns yourself. Like he's in his pattern of how he speaks to you. You're in your pattern how you speak to him, and
yeah.
it's both people deciding to break that. Because if one person breaks it, then the other person might get offended or
I'm like,
annoyed or
dog,
whatever.
you getting all sappy on me? What the hell is wrong with you?
Right, right,
You
right.
know,
So
like that type of shit. You gotta like it's yeah, it's like a larger conversation just about the black community as a whole and how
right.
we our relationships with like each other's like our friends, our
Easier with daughters, man.
loved ones, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
And
It is
Suave,
easier with
you haven't got to, and when you talk about like showing like, oh, this family like it's like the perfect family, it does show that in like season 1, like season 2 as well. But like when you get further along in the other seasons, you kind of see the tropes pop up that you were talking about. So because it's an interesting dynamic how they hit a lot of like stereotypical tropes of black people, especially living in since because they live on the other side, they live in like a nice neighborhood, stuff like that. But they hit certain tropes that are kind of like the stereotypical like, oh, black people in the hood type shit. So it's it's I like the show for how for what it was
No,
because one,
absolutely.
Black Lightning was one of my favorite DC comic heroes besides Spawn. And I just like how I don't know. To me, I just like the show, and I watched the show from the beginning. So
Look,
No.
just because it's the same way I feel about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I'm not glad it exists.
Word,
Like,
word.
I
true.
like it's out
no,
there.
the way you
Yeah.
talking about my hero, or Shield Hero.
I am conflicted about Neil deGrasse Tyson.
There's,
Right.
I feel like there's some valid reasons not to, not to not care for him necessarily, but we don't have to be
But
friends.
we're glad he's there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
good,
yeah.
man. Fill the space, man. Fill that space.
There you go. There you
Fill
go.
that space. Just
The
like Suave's
universe does
eyes
not
have.
like a void.
Yeah, Suave's eyes got to be somewhere at some time watching something, and if Black Lightning is that thing.
There you go.
Same thing. Neil
There you go.
deGrasse Tyson's atoms were constructed, and they had to be somewhere at some place. I'm glad that they are.
There you go.
In that space.
But yeah, and then so Malik was saying as far as talking to your dad and shit, like I agree with him that it's more of a like a men's issue than a parenting issue. Because like well, I mean, I guess it depends on your parents for real. But
Yeah.
having a different softer relationship with your mom is not that's not a matter of parenting. It's a matter of you know um social conditioning for men and for dads. I
Well,
definitely
I still know guys who can talk to their dads, and most of them are white. Like guys who have like regular conversations with their dads, and like have like a whatever. Most of them are white, and I think that when you grow up in a tougher environment with where things are real, when things really matter, right? Like it's not light that the leadership is a lot more stern just in general. That's not just families, right? But like if you were a country, right, and you were in disarray, you're not going to have lax government, right? Because you can't, because if you're lax then things get out of control. So I think the black community starting from the bottom, right, where like if going out and doing something stupid as a young black man can get you murdered, right,
Yeah.
by the state, as opposed to going out and being boys will be boys, which I know is a bad term, but I mean the way that they had been using it back then was like, oh, they go out and they do stupid stuff. That's just what they do. They're immature, right? Immaturity for us gets us murdered. Immaturity for them just gets like, oh, they spray painted the neighbor's house. Okay, well they're just gonna paint it on Saturday, right? Like
Expressing
it's completely
themselves.
different, completely different. So it's like So I feel like because of that seriousness, at least in
We had to
my
grow up a
experience,
lot faster.
my parents are more stern because of
yeah,
the seriousness of like the way the world works. Like they can't be as relaxed with me. They have to make sure that I understand that's not okay. You can't do that. Blah 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 blah. So
I
Yeah.
I
feel
think
you.
that also plays into it. I don't disagree that it's a men thing. Men don't
That's true.
Yeah,
like if we see some dirt on each other's shoulders, like instead of like, hey man, let me get that dirt on your shoulder, we punch it off, like just to make sure that like we're tough, right? Like it's like, hey man, let me get that dirt, and you hit them hard because you're like, don't be tender, right? I
right,
get
yeah,
it. Yeah, that is a man's
for
issue,
sure.
but I
So
also
basically,
think
someone
that
And
the
I
started
oh
black
shit,
maybe
what did we lose?
Tech
Tech.
Tech.
for a second.
All right,
He'll be
he'll be
back.
back in a bit.
So basically,
But
you don't want to start a nigga moment.
I'm dead. Yeah, I think that I think I have a lot to say about parenting. Like I have a lot to say about blackness. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that it would be worthwhile for us to unlearn that we inherited from, you know, slavery, that we inherited from, all that type of shit. And I feel like the the guys that you're talking about, the reason they can talk to their dads is because they could talk to them before. And like, I mean, my parent, like, I would be dead if I talked to my parents the way white kids do, and I would never want my kids or anybody's kids to treat them that way. That shit is disrespectful. But I do think
True.
that the rigidity of like the way authority is set up in a black home prevents the kind of relationships that that develop into what you're talking about with your white friends. And I think that definitely there's it's different out here for us, right? And shit, I lost my train of thought. Fucking Donald Trump, dog. So,
But it kind of goes
Fucking
back to
Donald
what
Trump.
we were talking about with Lovecraft, right? With D, how like
The best
they weren't
show of the
taking
year.
they weren't taking her seriously when she was
yeah,
trying to tell them like, hey, I'm getting chased by these creepy ass demons and they trying to chop my damn arm and shit.
bruh.
He's like, oh, it's fine. Well, I don't got time for you. Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
not
blah.
listening.
Like y'all not listening to me. Like, and then next thing you know, she crushing a woman windpipe out, causing the blood
Bruh.
splatter out.
Lord.
Some G shit. She went from like, oh, I'm this helpless little girl, I need help, to like, man, fuck y'all, I got my mechanical arm in this.
Like
Ah!
straight up murdering people. I was like, whoa. Hey, you gotta
She
do
had a
what you gotta do
demon
to survive
dog.
out here.
She looking that last scene looked like she was a fucking Marvel character.
True.
Like,
True shit. All right.
but and it was
Yeah.
trash. Damn.
Whoa.
Ah, damn.
It
Hope
wasn't.
it gets some. Mm,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
damn.
Not trash. Okay, we gonna move on.
He trolling now. He trolling now.
For
Damn on
real.
that.
I
He
mean,
trolling.
it could have. I feel like it could have been better. It could have been, but I don't think it was trash. Like, damn,
It just left on a cliffhanger. It means more seasons.
right.